Will it do more harm than good? Well, as the cliché goes, only time will tell. But by then, the NHS may have no choice between reform or death.
Have you ever heard of top-down diseases? They start in the brain, then percolate down to the gut. Parkinson's has long been considered one of them, a top-down disease. Parkinson's is a neurological disorder. It causes stiff muscles and involuntary tremors or shaking. This is a disorder of the nervous system, of the brain. But here's a lesser-known fact. Parkinson's patients face digestive issues as well, like stomach ulcers, difficulty in swallowing, or irritable bowels. Treatments can reduce the symptoms, but the brain and the stomach, both of the brain and the stomach, but there is no cure for the disease. Today, it is the fastest growing neurological disorder the world over. The numbers have doubled in the past 25 years. 10 million people suffer from it. Experts are calling it the Parkinson pandemic. So scientists are scrambling to find answers. But research shows that first, they have a lot to unlearn. Parkinson's does not have a cure yet because for years research has been upside down. Parkinson's may not be a top-down disease after all. It could be a bottom-up issue where it starts in the gut and goes all the way to the brain. That's what recent studies show. A bottom-up map of the Parkinson's disease. And the evidence is only growing. A new study is adding to this. It says that Parkinson's disease begins in the stomach. And if people have gut problems, this could be an early warning sign. Doctors have a gut feeling that this may be true. They don't have all the answers yet, but what they do know, based on decades of research, is this. We have two brains, each one of us. We have a brain in the head and one in the gut, and they're connected. And if this sounds like crazy talk, let me ask you, have you ever felt butterflies in your stomach? That tingling feeling, maybe right before you're born, so was your gut. And by gut, we don't mean just one thing. We're referring to the entire digestive system. You may remember this from your school, science homework in school. So trauma, flashback, warning. But think of it as a passageway. It includes your mouth, your throat, the esophagus, stomach, small and large intestine, and rectum. This system manages everything that you eat, and it has a brain of its own, quite literally. Much like your brain, your digestive tract has nerve cells. Millions of them. They form neural networks to communicate with each other. Our brain uses the network to control our behavior, so our gut brain does the same thing. It has an entire library filled with records of behavioral programs. When you eat something, your gut library gets into action and calls up a program. So when you eat junk food, you feel more tired. Versus when you eat spinach, for example, you will feel more alert. Try it. The second brain is very well connected to your big brain up there. So your gut lies at the heart of many diseases. You already know that what you eat affects your physical health. You know that. But it's also linked to your psychiatric health. People with gut problems are at high risk of developing anxiety, depression, dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease. There is no shortcut to this. Eating better is the best time-tested approach, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and poultry. Research shows that people eating a Mediterranean diet have a 23% lower risk of developing dementia and 53% for Alzheimer's. Call this a pre-weekend mantra. So go with your gut and protect it, because it will protect your brain.
You like it, man? You like it? What's wrong with you?
People acted, avoided black cats like a plague. Well, not anymore. Friday the 13th is a victim of the ultimate horror story. It has become a meme. After all, it's hard to be afraid of bad luck when your feed is full of dancing black cats. But the only horror story here is if your Wi-Fi stops working on Friday the 13th. Take a look.
zero sugar-free candies. No sugar, great taste, guaranteed.
And now it's time for Vantage Shots, images that tell the story. Thailand Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra visits flood victims in the country's north. Britain's red arrows soar over the Niagara Falls to mark 100 years of the Canadian Air Force, and the first snowball of the season blankets the Swiss Alps. Finally, we're taking you back in history. On this day in 1993, Israel and Palestine signed the first Oslo Accord. It was the first of a pair of agreements signed on the White House lawns. This was the first time Israel and Palestine recognized each other. The accords were the closest the two sides came to resolving the conflict. We're leaving you on that note. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. First Post, and you're watching Vantage with me, Parkinson.
Wow. I made it.
We begin tonight with a big story in the world of tech that has direct implications for you. The U.S. government has sued Apple. The company has lost $100 billion in value, and the battle has just begun. We'll tell you all about it.
The U.S. done sued Apple.
The Bhutanese Prime Minister was in India. Why do we have to go in the middle of an election?
How y'all doing?
What's cooking against China? We'll discuss that. Is India coming up with its own democracy index? If not, it should. It's the best way to counter flawed ratings from the West. Does France want to send troops to Ukraine? What is Emmanuel Macron's strategy? While Rishi Sunak faces a list of outstanding industry, how a genetically edited pig kidney has been transplanted into a human. It's the first such operation. Why Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested and how it will impact the election. Why tensions between Venezuela and Guyana have intensified. How we pumped out so much water we changed the earth spin. And what is biohacking? Why Wall Street giants and tech bosses are taking drugs to boost productivity.
Don't nobody want to talk to me?
At least 23 soldiers killed in Niger. The soldiers were ambushed during a raid in western Niger. The junta says more than 100 terrorists attacked the army units with homemade bombs and suicide vehicles. Around 30 terrorists were also killed in this gunfight.
How many barbers you got? I don't have 0 barbers. I'm looking for a barber with a license and they know how to cut and they can start making money today. They could have just made $70 off one little boy. Boy.
More than 2 years after it invaded Ukraine, Russia admits it's in a state of war. Initially, the Kremlin called it a special military operation. The admission comes as Moscow steps up attacks on Kiev. Last night, Russia hit Ukraine with nearly 90 missiles and more than 60 Iranian kamikaze drones. The Indian rupee hits an all-time low against the US dollar. It's the sharpest weekly fall in 7 months. The slide was due to a higher demand for the dollar from importers and a drop in offshore Chinese yuan. North Korea's World Cup qualifier against Japan is called off. Earlier officials had said the match would be moved to a neutral venue after Pyongyang decided against hosting it next week. North Korea gave no reason for cancelling the match. And a fresh blow to the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Malaysia says no to hosting the Games, citing cost as the main reason. Last year, the Australian state of Victoria had done the same. Do you use an iPhone? If you do, you know about the Apple ecosystem. It tracks you. You buy one Apple product and you have to keep buying Apple. Devices, services, software, everything Apple. If you want an app, you have to go to the Apple App Store. You cannot buy Android. If you want to iMessage someone, they must have an Apple phone. iMessage works only on iPhone. Same with accessories. You want a smartwatch or earphone or charger. You'd be inclined to buy Apple because non-Apple accessories do not work very well with the iPhone. It's like a relationship you cannot exit. Until recently, it applied to the charger too. You couldn't charge your iPhone without Apple's lightning cable. Thankfully, that has changed. Not because Apple had a change of heart, but because the law mandated it. And now lawmakers are going after the rest of the Apple ecosystem. Leading the way is the US government. It has sued Apple. And this is a landmark lawsuit. If the US government wins, it could reshape the most powerful tech company of our times. It's already making investors jittery. Soon,
trust me, it's just the beginning.
Soon after the case was filed, Apple's stock took a nosedive. It fell by almost 4%, which is a loss of over $100 billion. Apple lost $100 billion in value. Not really a big deal for them. This company is worth more than
What would happen if they took our iPhones?
They can take $100 billion drop. But it also poses a larger problem. It puts a
Like
spotlight
Apple
on
went out of
Apple's
business.
core business model, the whole philosophy of the Apple ecosystem.
I believe that's going to happen. Have you ever thought of that?
The list of
Apple
issues
going
that
out of
we
business?
shared with you, they form the basis for this lawsuit. The US government feels that Apple wants to keep its customers locked in and its rivals locked out. And the language of the lawsuit is damaging. It argues that the Apple model leaves customers with fewer choices, it imposes high fees and
Oh,
prices
man,
on
I'm
them,
hungry.
and it limits competition and innovation.
I'm going to go get me some fish.
Listen to the US Attorney General announce the lawsuit yesterday.
Apple charges as much as nearly $1,600 for an iPhone. But as our complaint alleges, Apple has maintained monopoly
You said-
of the smartphone market. Consumers should not
Yeah, I have a
pay
PS5,
higher
but I don't know how to turn it on.
prices. Companies break the law.
I've been
Apple
trying to
has
figure out how to
consolidate
turn it on.
monopoly power, not by making its own products better.
If you ask me again, we're going to put your ass up out of here. Matter of fact, you done asked too many times already, motherfucker.
From others
Bye.
worse.
Get the fuck out of here,
It's a big charge and it doesn't end
dumbass.
there. This
How the
lawsuit
fuck
goes
y'all doing?
beyond the consumer. It also talks about the woes of the developers.
Some people just don't get it. How
These are
dumb can you
people
be?
who make apps for Apple, or the companies that make apps for Apple. Apple has complete control over which apps can run on its platform. It does not allow what's commonly called side loading. That's the practice of using apps from third-party sources by circumventing the official app store. Apple does not
That's
allow
that one question gonna get you
and
put the
this
fuck up out of
power
here.
allows
So
Apple
who else
to
wanna
decide
ask?
which apps end up on your phones and tablets. So Apple has a lot of leverage here. According to the lawsuit, when a user buys something
Oh, y'all
from
some
the App
bitch
Store,
ass
when you
niggas.
buy something from the App
You
Store,
can see,
Apple can
if you
take
ask the
away
dumb
as
ass
much as
question,
30%
I'm gonna
of
put
the
your
revenue.
dumb ass out of here. So
So you pay $10
I told you I got one, but I don't even know how to
$10
turn it on. My
$50
shit ain't
This
even
is
plugged
what
up.
it takes from the developers. And the developers are powerless.
I don't give a
because
fuck
Apple
about no
controls the
PlayStation.
App Store.
I
So
don't
the
play
developers
games.
will have
That's
to
why
pay
y'all need to
whatever
quit playing
fee
games with
Apple
me right now.
demands.
I do not play
The
games.
US
I'm a
government
grown ass
wants to
man.
dismantle this monopoly.
Bitch ass
And what is
motherfucker.
Apple's response? The company plans to fight back. Apple says it will quote-unquote vigorously fight this lawsuit. So expect a showdown in courts. Apple is among the world's most valuable companies. Of course it has the capacity and the means to fight back. It can mount a legal challenge. It can put up
I'm hungry.
But
I
look
want
at
some
who they're up
fish.
against.
What type of fish do you think I ought to
It's
get?
not just the US government. Around the world, Apple's business model and practices are being scrutinized. The European Union is also breathing down their neck. Last year, the EU forced Apple to dump the Lightning cable and switch to a more common platform for its phone, the USB Type-C. Recently, the EU struck Apple again. It passed a Digital Markets Act. It has forced companies like Apple to allow side loading of apps on iPhones. And the US is trying to do the same through this lawsuit. Apple has been facing legal trouble here in India too. Since 2021, India's competition watchdog has been probing Apple. It is called the Competition Commission of India, or CCI. Some Indian startups have complained against Apple. On the same charges, Apple abuses its market dominance, the commission rates are high, and third-party distribution is restricted. Plus, India has been mulling a new law, something along the lines of the EU's Digital Markets Act. It's called the Digital Competition Bill. Its provisions are similar to the European law. The bill may push Apple to open up its walled garden. Reports say Apple is opposed to this bill. But you see the pattern. Across the world, Apple is under scrutiny. It will put up a strong resistance, yes, but it won't be able to walk away without taking a few hits. Now let's turn our attention to Bhutan, India's northeastern neighbor, a country of less than 1 million people and often called the last Shangri-La. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Bhutan. He arrived there this morning with great fanfare. Bhutan knows how to throw a grand welcome. And they also awarded Modi their highest civilian honor, the Order of the Druk Gyalpo.
भूटान की इस महान भूमि पर मैं सभी भारतवासियों की ओर से यह सम्मान नम्रता से स्वीकार करता हूं और इस सम्मान के लिए आपका और भूटान की जनता का हृदय से कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद करता हूं।
iHeart is having a huge anniversary sale. Go to iHeart and get 28% off thousands of health and wellness products. Save on your favorite beauty brands, supplements, and more. Find them at iHeart.com or on the iHeart app.
It's a great privilege, and it shows the importance that Bhutan places on its ties with India. And the bond extends both ways. Modi's visit comes on the eve of Indian elections. The dates have already been announced. And it's a first for a sitting Prime Minister, really, to focus on diplomacy in the middle of an election. And that is not the only unusual part. This visit comes after Bhutan's Prime Minister was just in India. Prime Minister Shering Tobgay was in New Delhi this week. It was his first foreign visit after being elected in January. He was in India for 5 days. He left on Monday. So if talks took place so recently, it seems strange that Modi has gone to Bhutan now, unless there's something bigger at play.
We have much to talk about. I will need your support as we move forward.
Bhutan's Prime Minister has called for support and India is rushing to deliver. India's Prime Minister himself is answering that call, and you can see how thrilled Bhutan is. There was the award, and Bhutan's Prime Minister even referred to Modi as his elder brother. Why do you suppose that is? Why the call for support? How can India be of help to Bhutan right now? Well, there are two ways, economically and militarily. We'll start with the economy. Bhutan is facing an economic crisis. Youth unemployment was at 29% in January. Growth has been stagnant at around 1.7% over the last 5 years, and the people want progress. That's why they voted to bring back Prime Minister Tobgay. He's previously served as Prime Minister between 2013 and 2018, and he has a proven track record. This time around, he has a challenging mandate, and he has been tasked to fulfill an ambitious plan. Bhutan, you see, is a constitutional monarchy. They have a king, King Jigme Khesar Namagyal Wangchu. In December, the king unveiled a new project. He wants to transform the southern town of Gelefu, turn it into a mindfulness city. Now look at the location. Gelefu is right at the border, across from the Indian state of Assam, which means India can play a crucial role in getting this mindfulness city going. Bhutan wants to turn the town into a special economic zone. They want to upgrade the Gelefu airport and, of course, bring in investments and jobs. India could be of help in all of this. Build the airport, upgrade road and rail connectivity, and help direct investments Bhutan's way. And that's the economic aspect. Now for the military part. Bhutan is in a tough spot. Unfortunately, it also borders China. And like all of China's other neighbors, it faces aggression. China claims parts of Bhutan's territory. The usual bogus claims. Some Ming emperor's uncle's favorite goat may have grazed there, so China now wants Bhutan's land. Specifically, these 4 areas. Indians will know the western one. That's where Doklam is located. India and China had a tense border standoff there in 2017. China was trying to encroach on Doklam. India sent troops to defend Bhutan and force China to back off. But Beijing has not given up on Doklam. They've been trying other ways to get the land. They recently made Bhutan an offer. China said it would relinquish claims in northern Bhutan. In exchange, they wanted Doklam. But so far, Bhutan has not agreed. China has been applying pressure. They're building illegal settlements in northern Bhutan. But Thimphu has not buckled. So now, with a pro-India Prime Minister Tobgay in charge, Bhutan may be working on a way to counter China, and India's Prime Minister Modi may be willing to help. If there is a military deal, do not expect to get all the details. After all, why would these countries make something like that public? But even announcing a military pact will be important. It will send a stern message to Beijing and assure Thimphu of India's eternal friendship. That's smart diplomacy, we say, and it justifies the visit in the middle of a very busy election schedule. What do you do when a system does not work? A, you try to fix it, or B, you can build your own. India has chosen option B, it seems. It has long criticized Western indices and surveys on democracy, but now patience has run out. So reports say India is publishing its own, a homegrown democracy index. An Indian think tank is making it. Reports say it could be published in the next few weeks, maybe even before the general election. Now, we don't know what the methodology will be, or what indicators will be used, or which countries will be ranked, but we will say this. Such a move was necessary. You cannot let Western yardsticks measure the world. If you do, the problem is obvious. The West will look good, the rest will not. And this is a big problem. A lot of people factor these reports into big decisions, like investors looking at a stock market bet, or companies looking to open factories, or even tourists looking to travel. So these rankings are like report cards for countries. A good one will give you tangible benefits, a bad one will keep investors away. So it's important to look at these rankings closely to see how fair or unfair they are. Let's look at 3 such recent indices. The first is the Liberal Democracy Index. It was published by Sweden's leader. Where is India ranked? At 104. Now listen to this carefully. India is ranked at 104. Guess who is just
What's up, y'all? Y'all good? Take off. Oh my God.